Well, hello guys, and welcome to RAMJB's War Thunder plane analysis. As you might know, this I announced maybe 1 week ago, or something like that. I'm at this moment not doing any more plane analysis until the flight models get fixed in some cases, because there are some planes that are totally out of whack, and makes a little sense to make videos about plane analysis when the flight models are not correct, because then I should have to visit them again and all that kind of stuff. But I also promised that as soon as the Tempest was going to be to receive its new flight model, which is in the works and seems to be already done but still not in the game, I would do a plane analysis on that one. Just happens that sadly it's still not happening. The flight model is not yet in the game, and we are actually waiting for it to happen, and I'm waiting for it to happen to do a proper Tempest review. But in the meantime, I can do similar thing, an analysis on a plane that's actually gotten a good flight model, and it's already in the game, and it's very similar to the Tempest, and it flies very similar to how the Tempest should be when its definitive flight model is introduced. And that's the Typhoon Mark 1B. That's the gift level 10 plane. This one you can purchase in one of the starter packs in the online shop. I will add a link below, so you can go check on that. I actually did a review on this plane in Arcade Battles, and then you're going to see a link here to see it, to check it out if you want to see it. This plane in Arcade I didn't really like a lot, because it's got a very poor roll rate, and I had problems adjusting with it. But in historical battles, this thing is an actual monster. This is absolutely insane for of a plane. That's a level 10. If you look at the research, you'll see there are 3 Typhoons: the Mark 1A, the Mark 1B, and the Mark 1B late. The Mark 1A, you can see it here, has 12 machine guns. Look at that, I still have it in arcade battle configuration. I don't fly this thing in historical battles. It has 12 machine guns, 7.7s, which are effective, are really effective at convergence, but out of them, it's like shooting peas. They are pea shooters, and there are a lot of them, but the problem is out of convergence you are shooting with less than half of them. And for level 7, this plane is seriously lacking in firepower, really. It's a very fast plane though, and it's not bad. I simply can't come to terms with the way this thing flies in historical battles. The level 13 one is very similar to the 1B with a bubble canopy, and has the same weapons, but you'll see that it has a 4-bladed propeller, and actually this has a more powerful engine than the one that we are going to see today, the 1B, the gift plane. This one is faster than the level 7 one, and is slower than the level 13 one. As for the properties of the plane, well, how it is and how much it costs, is 2,400 in to repair in arcade battles, and it's 10,000 lions in historical battles. It's a very cheap plane. It's a very, very cheap plane, and for what it delivers, it's a hell of a plane. Really it is. Also, it's a level 10, and I would rate this plane as almost as good as the Focke-Wulf 5. It's not as good because it has some properties I will tell you later, and it's not as effective, but for a level 10 this thing is really, 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 really good. What's this plane? Well, this plane is a boom and summer. This plane is 7 tons heavy. It's very heavy. Well, actually it's a little bit less than that. It's 6 tons more or less, but with bombs it was 7 tons. But it's 6 tons and something heavy. Yeah, it should actually use energy conservation tactics and boom and zoom. The problem with this plane is twofold. First of all, you can see how thick that wing is. It is very thick, very, very thick. This wing produces a lot of drag, a ton of it, and even while the plane is very fast, that wing actually stopped it from staying at very high speeds, and actually prevented it to have very high top. Look at that. Oh yes, yes. All the time is the same. Sorry. The wing actually prevents it to have a very good terminal dive. It dives very well up to maybe 600 kilometers per hour, but from then onwards it's like hitting a brick wall. It doesn't accelerate that much, and of course it accelerates in a dive, but it's not as good accelerating as other planes. So you have to adjust for that. I mean, if your booms are from very high altitude on very low enemies, you are going to dump a lot of energy in the move. Also, there's another thing to consider, and it's that the plane has an awful roll rate. The ailerons on these very thick wings, have very limited answer. The plane simply didn't like to roll, and that was at all speeds. At slow speeds, it was a terrible roller, and at high speeds, it was a terrible roller. So you want to set your attacks properly, because if you have to roll the plane in the middle of a bounce to adjust your aim, you're not going to be able to do it. Also, it's challenging in the defensive flight because most other planes outroll this thing, and it's very hard to keep out of phase of enemy planes diving on you. You're going to see it later in the videos. But yeah, it's a boom and summer. It's not the best boom and summer, except for one thing: those 4 cannons. Really, those are turbo lasers, those are magma launchers, those are terminators, those rip things fast, really fast. These are assassin weapons, and a couple hits with these are almost guaranteed a critical, and if not, you are getting the enemy very damaged. Maybe black wing or a black tail or whatever, but hit with this, you get results, always. There's no doubt about that. Also, there's another thing that's make this plane very good for at least matches against Germans. Well, against the Japanese, that's not as big as a thing. It's almost as fast as the Germans down low at sea level, and it actually is not a turn fighter. It's not at all, but turns better than most of the German planes. Particularly the Focus 190s, this plane outturns. So you have that in reserve. In the case you are in the defensive, you can try to outturn them, and while in the offensive, you are guaranteed that you can pull inside them to make those 20mm work. So it's not a specialized boom and summer. I mean, it's a boom and summer, but it's not the best one because of the problems I told you. High drag. Also, look at that scene. Radiator. This thing created a lot of drag. It's a plane with a lot of drag, but it's also a plane with a lot of power. It's an average climber. It's not bad climbing, but it's not as good as the Spitfire and nowhere near as good as most German planes. But it's not bad at accelerating or climbing, so it's average in that, so that's cool. It's not. I mean, this plane is not as good as a boom and summer as a P-51 is, for instance. But if caught low and slow, it actually can survive. Something an American plane, boom and summer plane, can't. So something for something. It's not as good in its intended role, but when in the defensive, it's not as bad. So yeah, that's mostly it about the plane. Let's see the weapons it can mount. Has 4 20mm cannons with 560 rounds, which are pretty nice. It's not a very huge load, but gets the job done. And the way these things hit, really, this ammo can get you a lot of kills in just one load. It can load bombs. Don't. Really, please don't. I know the fame of the Typhoon comes from the fact that it was a very good fighter bomber, and it was actually a better fighter bomber than a fighter. But the problem is that in historical battles you can't go for ground targets if you don't kill the enemy fighters first, because if you do, you are going to get killed in no time. So Get rid of those bombs, get up in the air, kill the enemy planes, come back to base, load bombs if you want, and then go for the ground targets. But at game start, please use this plane as a fighter. Please. Because otherwise, this is a very powerful plane. This is a very powerful fighter. If you load bombs, you are deleting yourself from the useful fighters in your team, and they are going to feel it. So really, don't use this as a fighter bomber, unless the enemy team has no fighters left. Sarbrax. I use omnipurpose. I mean, ground targets has more AP, which I guess is decent. Stealth attack is very nice if you can actually aim without tracers. I'll be honest, I can't. I use omnipurpose. It's the best one for this cannon. As for why do I've been asked a lot. Why does my aim suck? And why do I go for tracers and not for stealth? Well, keep in mind, guys, that I play a lot of different planes. I mean, I might fly one sorry in the Spitfire Mark 9, and then the next one I might go for a P-51D. And then, just for kicks, I might get TA-152, and then a BF-109E, and then go and get a 0 and give it a go. The thing is, all the planes have different weapons, of course. And different weapons have different muzzle velocities, they have different ballistic properties, and as a result, they need different amounts of lead of the target. And once you get the hold of a weapon, you get a feel for how much lead you need, and you can switch to stealth ammunition because you know how that weapon is going to perform. The problem is that I don't fly just one plane or one nation. I fly all of them, and as a result, I don't develop that feel for the weapons, and I need tracers to adjust, because if without them, I'm totally lost. I don't know where I'm shooting in leading shots. Also, that explains a lot why in some shots I miss, because I simply don't know how to adjust for the weapons I have. I might think, okay, these weapons are a little bit more straight shooting than these others, but in the end, you need a good feel of the weapon to be a master at aiming, and I haven't developed that for a single plane because I fly them all. So that's why my shooting sucks. But well, enough of me. Let's keep on about the plane and see some battles. So the first one we are going to see is in Sicily with a team that didn't climb that much. You can see at game start there's actually some planes up there, but upon contact they are all going to go very low. I see a Focus 190 up there, BF-109, a lot of enemy planes up there. And you know the drill, or at least what I do. I always try to concentrate on the higher guy the first, and then work my way down. But of course, with a plane that doesn't have enough altitude, it's hard. Here I see the 190 is actually diving on someone else, and he's going to cross in front of me, but not close enough for me to try to shoot him down. So what I'm going to do is to try to go his angles. He's going down. I'm going to remain at an altitude and predict towards where his zoom is going to be. And look at that, I'm coming close, but not enough. He's very fast. He's zooming away, he's doing a perfect job, and I'm not going to be able to catch up. So I stay at altitude, keep my attention tracked on him, because I assume sooner or later he's going to dive on me. This video is basically all about how to fly this plane in the defensive. You can see I'm the only one up here. All of the rest of the guys are already diving. So I'm dealing with two 109s and a Focus 190. Well, no, there's a Spitfire as well up here. Cool. But here comes the 190. Break turn. Change the face of my plane. You can see I am out of phase. He gets some shots, probably machine guns, no serious hits. I pull, he's missing his shots, he overshoots. I try to capitalize, but the problem is lack of roll. He's very fast. He's very far already. Here I'm spraying and praying, hoping for a hit. I get some hits, but he's already too far. I'm not going to push my luck. Also, I'm very slow, so Trying to push the nose down and to keep my attention on what's coming behind. I have that guy up there. I have a focus on enemy who is coming for me. Again, how slow this plane rolls. Break turn. Barrel roll. Keep out of phase with him. He misses. Barrel roll on him. Another guy has mounted me a missile. And alright. Evaded both of them. There's another one more who's coming. So I pull inside. There you go. There he is. The Spitfire is trying to help. Oh, we have another one here. The Spitfire is trying to help, but he's in serious trouble. So that's a focus 180. That's a focus BF-109. That's another focus 180. I'm going to try to get some shots on this guy. I miss. That one is still not coming. The Spitfire is in serious trouble, so I'm going to try to clear his 6. Again, how slow this plane rolls. See, I pull inside him. Try to adjust for a lead shot. Shots. This is pure spray and pray. I try to aim, get a critical. Enough because that's a black wing probably, because my hits were on the wing, and I want to keep track on what's around me. And there you go, the 190 is coming for me. Break into him. Roll opposite to avoid the other one, which also was coming. I'm basically dealing with 2 of them alone. And it was 4 at one time, so yeah, well. Again, barrel roll, keep out of phase with the guy. Forcing him to shoot and to miss his shoots. Deploy a little bit of flash to pull my nose up and retract it immediately. Another guy has bounced me. Oh, this is a very poor situation. And also I'm in the middle of the flank of the enemy. But I'm pressured by 3 enemies and I can't get away from that. So I have that one guy behind me. I keep on turning so he misses. Roll opposite. Slow, because this plane rolls so slow. And AAA is getting my aileron, which is very nice. I don't have enough roll rate and my aileron gets pink. Cool enough. The 190 is going for that Mustang. I see a Henkel 111. I see a MB410. I'm going to get some pot shots at a Henkel. I miss. I don't care. I get the kill on the guy I crit before, which is cool. And now the MB410 is coming, and those things are really dangerous, so I have to break into him, force him to miss his shots, and try to return to him, but another one comes, gets in on me, and pilot kill. Not more. I couldn't do anymore. I simply couldn't. But yeah, that was a pretty poor team. That's the kind of situation where you actually expect your team to do something and to take advantage of the fact that 2 of you are holding 4 of their best fighters up there, and they are not elsewhere, they are not killing anyone else, they are concentrated on you. So 2 of us were holding 4 of them, and the rest of the team didn't capitalize on that. There's nothing you can do about that. So yet another game, and this actually in a pretty good team. We are lower than them. You're always going to expect being lower than the Germans on contact, so that's not a big surprise. So it's time for brace for some defensive maneuvers and to support each other. First in line is that BF-109F, which is totally oblivious that I'm here. Doesn't have a clue. But he's too far. Get some hits. Look at that. It's 800 meters. I got hits without a problem. And probably those hurted. I didn't get a critical, but probably those caused some damage. Then here comes the first BF-109G. I break away, and he breaks the attack as soon as he sees I'm diving. Keep track on them to spot who's next. Incoming, because right now I'm forcing into the defensive. which is not bad. I mean, you can fly defensively, and there's a lot of fun in that. There's a lot of fun in flying defensively. Of course, it needs it needs some skill, needs some situational awareness. It's not easy, but turning tables on an enemy is always fun. So keeping track on the guys I have behind. I see a BF-109 which is engaged with a Hurricane. Keeping track. If they dive on me, I'm going to have to evade. Looking around, looking back, looking up. I start adjusting because that BF-109 probably is going to give me a shot. And yeah, he seems to be not really fast, so I'm going to be able to track him and follow him. There you go, he's having away, but I'm in hot pursuit. But of course, what you don't want to do is to follow a guy that you are not going to get. That guy is pulling away, and I spot a guy repairing. And this is something, that guy is already killed. I mean, I'm not going to get a kill, but I want him to not to repair. I want to erase him from the battle, because that guy, if he repairs, is going to be a further number in their team, and I'm going to avoid that. I simply don't want that guy into the game. So I set up for another attack. I'm very fast. Another guy has fired at me. He's missed. There you go. He's out of the game. So now it's time to check. That was a BF-109 which is moving away, so no big deal. The Hurricane is in hot pursuit, so there's not a huge pressure on me to come back and try to engage him. So instead I zoom away, try to get as much of an altitude as I can back from the move I made. It was a risky move, but I think it paid off in the long run. Again, looking around and keeping track on what's around us. BF-109 behind, lower, higher, 109 is there, and a Spitfire is really in trouble right there, because he's alone versus 2. So what I have to do is to go and support him, because 2 versus 1 is not going to last a lot. I see he's moving behind that speed guy, 109, that BF-109, so I'm going to target the other one. I mean, he's in a Spitfire, he's going to be able to keep the offensive on that 109, and what I want to do is to get the guy who might kill him down. So I call him as a target, so he understands that guy is diving on him. I tell him on chat, 666, you have one on you. He avoids the pass, and the BF-109 is totally oblivious I'm here, or he's doing a terrible mistake, because he's giving me a perfect shot, and look at that. One shot, one kill. Another one is coming. He neatly breaks his wings, so that's nice. That's always cool when it happens. And that goes on to prove that the BF-109 breaks wings easily. It's not, well, there are people in the forum who live in a fantasy world and say the BF-109 doesn't break wings. Well, it does. And yeah, I'm keeping track. Well, that's a broken wings guy. And right now what I'm doing is to keep track on that guy. I'm wondering, should I go? Should I not go? Okay, he's dead. Because I don't want that guy to be dragged by that 109. There are still enemies up, and you never know. So yeah, Junkers 87 there. Should be a not that hard kill, to be honest. He's also not coming for me, so I have a good lead shot. I get it. He's on fire on the first round. He's killed on the second. Those are Hispanos for you, man. Oh, those things. They rip off things so quickly. So next one in line, backshot. Another BF-109. He's I don't know what he's doing, but since he's going for the head-on, which I totally don't have a problem with, because I can avoid. See this, I'm avoiding head-ons on the Typhoon, even with 20mm. You want to avoid as many head-ons as you can, because in a head-on you are giving yourself as a target. You might have heavier weapons, but if you are not in a heavy fighter, Messerschmitt 410, something like that, you don't want to give the enemy a shot if you can avoid it. Look at that, I avoided his head-on, and now I'm in hot pursuit. And one shot, one kill. And those are Hispanos for you again. So yeah, that's mostly it. There's an AI app, but I'm not going to worry about actually looking for it. What I'm going to do instead is to go for ground targets, so we are going to see that and see the results. And this is what I told you guys. You can easily go for all the ground targets you want. Easily, really, you can. But when the enemy fighters, or most of them are there. Otherwise, you will achieve nothing but getting killed. All of the enemy planes are killed, but, except for one AI. So what I'm going to do is to go for the ground targets. Because, okay, those are, yeah, cheap XP and cheap lions to get. So, yeah, why not getting them? But do so when you can, and when you are not hurting your team by doing so. So, well, this pass wasn't really successful. I get an assist on one of the ground targets. So I reverse now. And put my nose down and go for the next one. And this I can go and I can do now and without a problem. I mean, now I can. Now I can have fun, kill ground targets, get some cheap ground kills. But I can't do now because all the enemy fighters are dead. If you do this at game start, all you are going to do is get 2 or 3 of those and get your plane killed. And do absolutely nothing for the team. So really, do this stuff when you can do so. A game start is not the moment. And now you'll see the results of the battle. Of course, this is a premium plane, this is a gift plane, so it's going to be a ton of XP and lions. But even without the premium reward, this would have been a hell of a lot of lions and XP. And that's what you get for flying your plane right. If you don't, you die the first and you do absolutely nothing. And look at that. Almost 100,000 lions. And look at all those badges I got. I got the fighter, final blow, Malta hero. Well, that's something I got. Well, bulletproof and on hand. Yeah, well, so you can see the plane is terrifying. It's a killing machine. Those cannons are maybe half the plane. If not more. The plane is actually, as a fighter, lacks in some particular parts of the envelope, mostly in the rolling and in the boom and zooming part, because of the drag, high drag. But those weapons, man, really, aim with those, get kills. It's terrific. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's plane analysis on the Typhoon Mark 1B. The Tempest will come when the final flight model also comes. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you had fun. Remember those likes, remember to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and see you later.